You do everything possible to keep your children from getting sick, but one of the concerns might actually be at school.
Now, not in the classroom or the hallways. We're talking about the cafeteria. Natalie Tendall with 2 News Investigates has been digging through inspection records and found some issues less than appetizing, shall we say, Natalie?
Mold in the ice machine, mouse droppings, and lunch trays found in the bathroom. These are just a few violations I found going through hundreds of school cafeteria inspection reports in the Miami Valley. Cafeterias around the Miami Valley are feeding thousands of students. But have you ever stopped to think about how clean those places are and who's making sure your kids are not getting sick from what they eat? 2 News Investigates did. Connie Fries is one of the many public health sanitarians in Montgomery County who inspect cafeterias.
Especially for schools, is because you're dealing with an at-risk population, the young. You have to make sure that they're getting safe food.
Public health departments in Ohio conduct surprise inspections to every public and private school cafeteria twice a year, making sure the facility is clean and the food is properly prepared and served.
These are laws that they have to follow.
We walked through Miamisburg Middle School's cafeteria a week after Fries conducted an inspection there. She said she didn't find or see any violations. Is it hard to pass an inspection? Clean?
No, not if you're doing the right things, no.
But not every cafeteria gets a clean report. If someone gets a violation, what happens?
It depends on what the violation is. If it's a critical violation, it's usually corrected immediately. If it's not, then they have time to comply and get it corrected, depending on the situation.
2 News Investigates spent several weeks looking at hundreds of cafeteria inspection reports for 10 different school districts across the Miami Valley. Every one of them had at least one school which had violations in an inspection. They included outdated food, mold in the ice machine, and a few mentions of pests. Because when I see observed dead roach, I think gross.
Sure.
So is that really as big of a problem as it seems to be on paper?
Generally, when you see one insect, there's more behind the scenes or hiding. They can be an indicator of there's something else going on.
Montgomery County Environmental Health Director Jennifer Wenzel said they require schools to contact exterminators, and during their next inspection, they'll make sure the mice or cockroaches are gone. But she said that's actually not their biggest concern when conducting an inspection.
Illness can be a possibility by eating foods that aren't properly cooked and held at proper temperature.
Keeping foods at the proper temperature is the area where most schools get dinged on their inspections. Most of the time, the issue is fixed right away. It's when inspectors keep noticing it every time they come back to inspect that's a problem. After going through more than 100 reports, I found that was happening at one school. Rosa Parks Elementary had temperature violations noted on its past 3 inspections. When they're having consistent violations, is that cause for concern?
The fact that we had 2 temperature violations is of concern, and that would be definitely something that we're going to keep an eye on to make sure that it's being corrected.
2 News Investigates found Dayton Public Schools knows it's a problem. They tell us action was taken before this school year by replacing the entire staff at the cafeteria. They assure us the location is still being monitored. If an inspector keeps noticing problems, they can take enforcement action. That includes requiring staff and management at the school to take classes. Wenzel and Fries tell me parents shouldn't worry too much about school cleanliness. They say cafeterias are typically a lot cleaner than restaurants. They attribute that to their limited menu and operating hours. They also say a lot of times schools have dedicated employees who want to fix any issues right away.
We want them to tell us if there's something wrong. We want them to tell us so we can take care of it. We see it as a learning process for us also.
Now, we went through hundreds of reports and have made it easy for you to see what your child's last 2 school cafeteria inspections look like. You can find the searchable database that we've created on WDTN.com. Just look for this story under the Investigations tab. Natalie Tendall, 2 News Investigates.